Hey there everybody and welcome to this video. So in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you a step-by-step guide to drawing Ryu and Bison from the world of Street Fighter. So let's start with the creation of Ryu, or Ryu, Ryo, whatever. Anyways, let's start ahead with the first character. So let's go ahead and select the square tool. Create the shape and then just go ahead and curve the edges. We'll also choose the color as well. Now we want to go up here to advanced settings and click on uniform corners. So now we've transformed the head, we're going to start with the headband. Use the rectangle tool again, create it like so, and make it red. Now for the hair, we're going to go ahead and use the pen tool. So we'll select that from up here, and we'll start out here and then make each individual strand for the hair. We'll also go ahead and color it. Now we need to place this layer underneath everything else, so we'll go ahead up to here and click send backwards. Now we're going to create the other part of the hair using the square tool. So we're going to make the ear, we'll use the circle tool for this. We're going to keep it quite nice and simple. Make sure we have that the same colour as the skin. So now we're going to use the same shape again to make the eye. So we'll choose the circle tool again. Make sure we turn it white. Now we're going to use the craft knife to cut this in half. Now with this half, we're going to use this to turn it into the main part of the eye. So we'll make this a darker tone. We'll also invert it, and we'll also transform its size a bit. Now we'll go ahead and make the eyebrow. We use the rectangle tool for this. Yeah, it's looking pretty good so far. So now what we're going to do is make the mouth. We use the square tool for this. And we're going to manipulate it just like we did with the head. So we'll make this white. We'll go up, and then we're going to go to uniform corners again. We're going to choose sub select, and then manipulate it like so. That's looking pretty animated. What we could do if we wanted to is also add some more details to this mouth as well, which I'm going to go ahead and do. So I'm going to change the colour. Now I'm going to use the rectangle tool to add teeth, and I'm also going to add the inner details as well. We're going to copy this and then paste it. Now we're going to select all these shapes together. We're going to go up here to clip. Last thing we're going to do is add some bit more details to the headband. I'm going to use the square tool again. Select the same colour. And then just copy it and repeat the process again. So now that's the head done with, let's move on to the rest of the body. And the first thing we're going to do is merge these all together into one layer. So we'll select them all and go up here to merge. So let's start with the body, shall we? We'll use the square tool again. Then we'll go up to corners, and we'll also go up to advanced and uniform corners again. So now we're going to create the arms as well as the cuffs for this outfit. We'll do that by using the circle tool. And since Ryu is a travelling hobo, we will make the edges nice and roughed. So we'll do that with the pen tool. over here. And we'll choose the same white tone. We'll also make it just a little bit lighter. And then just make sure to layer it underneath the other layers. Now we're going to select the rectangle tool. We'll select it again so we can make the armbands. Make that black. So now what we're going to do is we're going to select these layers. We're going to copy them. We're going to invert them. And we're going to place them just about here. And also we want to make sure that we layer them at the very bottom here. So we'll do that by hitting send backwards. Next we want to make these a little bit darker in tone. So we'll go here and we'll choose a darker skin tone. We'll also rotate these hands gradually. We'll select that and we'll rotate it by grabbing the white sphere up here. So that's looking pretty good. So let's move on now to the legs. The first thing we're going to do is create the waistband. We'll use the pen tool for this. So now we're going to create the legs. We'll do that by using the rectangle tool again. We'll also choose a lower skin tone. And then just curve the edges and rotate it. And also make sure we layer it underneath these ones here. Then we'll just go ahead and copy it. So what we're going to use is the pen tool and follow a similar pattern to what we did to the cuff up here. So we'll start here. And select both the shapes. Then we want to go up here to where it says subtract, and there we go. We've been able to remove that section and have a nice little bit of detail down here. So we're going to use the same process for this leg here. So now what we're going to do is make the feet. We'll use the square tool for this. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to use the pen tool instead. So we'll go from here. And then we're going to go get rid of the border. And then we're going to go and choose our color. And then make sure that we layer it underneath the leg. Then we're going to use the pen tool again and do the same for this side as well. There's just one last thing missing from this design, and that is iconic Hadouken! So we'll create that using the circle tool. We'll start over here. We'll make it blue. Transform it a bit more. Then what we're going to do is copy the shape, make it lighter, transform it, and put that in the middle, and then copy it again, and make this one as white as possible. Now we're going to add the flames to the fireball. We'll do that by using the square tool. Go up here. Make make sure that we layer it underneath, and then just go ahead and curve the edges. Then we're going to copy it and then transform the shape again. And then we're just going to add some last minute details just to make it a bit more interesting. Lastly, I'm just going to add some details around here. I'm going to use the pen tool for this. I'll just make one here. Go ahead and choose the same color. And then do another one here. So that's looking pretty good to me. One last thing we're going to do is select all the layers and then go up here to group. So that's one design done. Let's move on to the next character. There's going to be a few differences in the way his appearance is going to be, as well as the moves that we're going to try and illustrate. So we're going to do the head the same way we did for Ryu. Now we're going to go ahead and create the cap. We'll do that by using the square tool. Change the color. And we're also going to add some hair as well. We'll do that by copying this shape. And then inverting it. And then layering it underneath. Then what we want to do is select these two layers and merge them together with the clip tool. So now we're going to make the rest of the cap. We'll do that with the rectangle tool. There we go. So now what we're going to do is make the mouth the same way we did with Ryu. I'm going to use the square tool again and then just transform it. There we go. So now let's move on to the rest of the body. We use the square tool again. First thing we're going to do is make the neck. I'm going to choose this hue and make it just a little bit darker. Go there. Now what we're going to do is make those iconic shoulder pads. We use the square tool. We want to make them nice and large and bulky. We'll also make them shaded. We'll also transform them a bit. And we'll also copy it and place one on the other side. Also tone it just a little bit and make sure we layer it underneath the neck here. So now let's go ahead and make the torso. We'll use the rectangle tool again. We'll merge these two together. We'll go over here to merge. And then make sure we layer it underneath the neck and this shoulder pad here. And then what we're going to do is rotate it. There we go. I've just transformed that so that it matches up with the rest of the design. So now we're going to move on to the belt buckle. So now we're going to create the belt buckle. We'll do that with the rectangle tool and make it a nice gold. So now we're going to do the under half of the uniform. We use the pen tool for this. We'll start here. And then remember to choose the same hue. And then layer it underneath the belt. We're going to copy it again. And then just go ahead and rotate it. And then place it on the other side. That's looking pretty good so far. So now what we're going to do is tackle the legs. We'll use the rectangle tool for this. We're then going to create the Shin Guard. We'll do that with the square tool. We'll add one here. Make it the same hue as the shoulder pads. Copy it again, and then just transform it, and then repeat the process again. Now what we want to do is layer it underneath the uniform here. So we'll go up to send backwards. Now what I'm doing is stretching this out because what I'm going to eventually do is cut this in half. I'm going to get the pen tool. I'm going to select this section here. I'm going to delete it. And then I'm also going to add the last part of the Shin Guard as well here. So now we're going to create the second leg. We'll use the same process, making sure that we layer it underneath all these layers here. We're also going to choose a lighter tone, since this one's going to be more in the foreground. So I'm just going to copy the shape. So now we're going to copy these shapes here to create the Shin Guard for the other leg and layer them above. And then just repeat the process again like we did before. Oops. As you can see, it didn't go as perfectly as I planned, but it shows you more of the playing and experimentation that it takes to sometimes to design a creation like this. So now that we've done that, let's move on to the arms. So now we're just going to add the hands of the gauntlet. So what we're going to do now is select these two, and we're going to copy them. We're going to place them on the other side, and we're going to manipulate them like so. Last thing we're going to add is the other gauntlet. So we'll copy this shape and bring it over and layer it like so. And since this is on the other side, we're also going to make these a little bit darker. And at the moment I'm just layering it so it's underneath the leg here. Otherwise it's going to look a bit strange. Lastly, we're going to get the hand, and we're going to make one here. We're also going to choose a darker skin tone. And lastly, we're also going to make a thumb as well. We'll also choose a lighter skin tone for that, since it's in the foreground. And I'm also going to make this hair a little bit darker. So that's looking pretty good so far, but I feel it needs a little bit more detail to it. One last thing we're going to add is a cape, just to add a bit more dynamic flair to this character and also to show the momentum of his speed. So to make the cape, we're going to use the rectangle tool. We'll also make it the same color as that. And we're also going to go up here to corners. And then we're going to go up to uniformed. And then we're going to manipulate it just like we did with the head. One last thing we want to do is also layer it underneath everything else. We can do that by going up here and then clicking on the layer and then going to arrange and then highlight center back. Then we're just going to add some last minute details here on the shoulder pads. Send these to the foreground. Curve them, rotate them. And what we're going to do is copy this shape, rotate it, place it on the other side. Then what we're going to do is select both the shapes and then go to clip. And then lastly, we're going to make some buckles. We'll use the ellipse tool and put one there. Make it a bit gold. And then copy it and then do the same for the other side. It's also a good idea at this point to go over our designs and see if there's anything missing that we feel we want to change. The part of the process of drawing is to have fun with it and also experiment and try some new ideas. That was evident in the way I was experimenting with the legs down here. So it takes a bit of time to sometimes figure out what's going to work. Remember, it's not a race. Just have fun with what you're creating and experiment to see what new ideas you can come up with. Well, I certainly hope you found this tutorial helpful and it gave you the knowledge and skills to create your own illustrative ideas. If there's anything you'd like to see me cover in the future, then just leave a comment down below. Thanks again for watching everybody, stay creative and I'll see you next time.